Let's prep one of my favorite meals today. It was originally a Korean barbecue stir fry, and over the years we've changed it a little bit. Now it's like a sweet and sour sauce stir fry. So come along and see how we cook it. Also keep in mind, this is not the Food Network. I am not a professional chef. So if you don't like the way I cook something, cook it the way you want it and don't complain about how I do it. First thing I'm gonna start with is your rice. Normally I make a single batch, and I'm gonna make a double batch just so we can have a lot of leftovers. Get it to a boil, and then as soon as it starts boiling, bring it down to a simmer. Next on our list would be carrots. For a single batch, you're just gonna wanna do 1 bag of carrots, or whatever you like, honestly. Whatever portions make you happy. So again, we're gonna start off with some olive oil. You can never have enough olive oil, in my opinion. Well, maybe you can, but for this, I think the more the merrier. You just don't want it to be too dry. And then drizzle more olive oil in. I think it just helps the taste and helps it cook. So we're gonna put that on like medium high. So we're gonna peek at both of these while they cook. This one's gonna be boiling here pretty soon. Shuffle around your carrots. I like to add oil to this just so that it helps the rice not stick to the pan quite as bad. You know, we don't always plan out this meal too far in advance, and if I did have time to do day-old rice for this recipe, then maybe I would. But cooking rice in a pot on the stove has worked just fine for us. Alright, now that this has been brought to a boil, we're going to want to turn it down to simmer and stir it around a little bit and cover. I'm going to turn this down slightly to keep it on medium. You can have as many onions as you're comfortable with in this recipe. I think, honestly, green onions are my favorite anyway, and they just so happen to be what we need in this recipe. We're just gonna have these hang out until we're ready to cook the meat. And back to our carrots. I would say these are done for now. So we're gonna move these over to a different plate, and then we're gonna come back to them. Okay, now we're back to onions. We're gonna cook those just a little bit before we add meat. And if a couple carrots remain in there, it's fine. Let's take a peek at our rice. So you can see it's bubbling a little bit, but under that, it looks great. Okay, after you've got your onions cooking a little bit, then you can add your ground beef. We buy our beef in bulk from Sam's and then package it individually. My husband likes to cook the meat a little bit before he adds the onions, and I'm the opposite. So no matter which way you want to do it, it's gonna be fine. Those onions will keep cooking with the meat. So in a normal batch, you would just do 1 pound of beef, or I guess whatever meat you want in there. We just tend to do ground beef, but I think chicken could taste pretty good too. Now while the meat is cooking, I think our rice is done. It's so funny. I made a short video on this meal a while ago, and people were outraged by this rice. They thought it was too wet, it was disgusting, and I'm over here like, okay, cook it the way you want it then. We don't serve wet rice. I think maybe it was just the clip that everybody saw. I would say this rice looks pretty good. No different than I get it at restaurants. I'm gonna turn off the burner because this is still gonna sit in here for a while and I don't want it to be too dry. So we're gonna put the lid back on that. Turn this baby over. This spatula is maybe a little too flimsy for this right now. And the reason why we're using the exact same pan is because this is all going to be mixed in eventually. Normally we do drain the grease with like a spoon, but since I'm by myself right now, I'm just actually gonna use a grease strainer that we use from time to time, just to make things easy. And here is what we're gonna use for our sauce. Super good. And since I'm making a double batch, we're just gonna use the whole bottle. Once that's mixed in, add your carrots. And now we are back to the rice. We're gonna add some soy sauce. I typically go for the less sodium, but use whatever you want. Yes, I know this is probably a lot of soy sauce. Now we can come back over here, stir a little bit more. This is looking beautiful. Let's get that rice in there. This is why I add oil in, because I just try not to let it stick so bad. Okay, and then we can turn the burner down too. We don't need it up quite so high. Stir it until it's thoroughly mixed. We've got soy sauce, sweet and sour sauce, carrots, beef, and jasmine rice. You know, if I were to make this with chicken, I'd probably cook the jasmine rice in chicken broth. And that would be so flavorful. And really, you could do that with beef still. Maybe I'll try that sometime. There we go. That is one of my favorite meals, and I'm so excited to share it with you guys. We love serving it with Funyuns. So what I like to do is just grab a handful of Funyuns, crumple it up right on top, and then I just feel like it adds the perfect amount of crunch. And then for my husband, he likes to add a little bit of spicy yum yum or regular yum yum, whatever we've got on hand. We are definitely running low on this though. And then for the spice, he'll add like sriracha or hot sauce, whatever we've got. So yeah, there's so many different ways that you can serve this. I obviously like it with Funyuns. He likes it with yum yum and hot sauce, and it's delicious. It's time to bag up the food and then go to bed. It's like 9:30 at night. If you see my messy kitchen, no you didn't. I'm just kidding. Messy kitchens are a normal part of life, and if you see that mine is messy, welcome to reality. I'm gonna get out my food saver. I love it. It is what we do all of our meal prepping in, because then we freeze it, label it with the date, and then we can pull it out whenever we're ready. I usually just grab one straight from the freezer when I'm going to the office, and I let it sit out all day until lunchtime, and then it's thawed enough that I just pop it in the microwave, and voila. I have all of these cut and sealed already. Here is a fresh roll of Plastics Food Saver bags. I absolutely love this machine because you can just pop it in and then store the bags when you're not using it. They have markers for measuring, and then they have a spot where you can write the contents and the date on there. So I typically do about 3 sections. I feel like that's the perfect size for what we do. And then you can trim it. So now you wanna, after you're done cutting, you have to seal it. You have to seal at least one side, otherwise you can go all the way through. And it's done. Easy enough. So with filling up these bags, I typically fill it halfway, and that's plenty of food. Bagging can be a little messy, so just be prepared to clean it up after. All right, so now we're done. Those get to go downstairs to the freezer and wait for whenever we need them. Thank you so much for coming on this journey with us of cooking a double batch of one of our favorite meals and then prepping them all for leftovers. So yeah, again, this is not the Food Network. I'm not a professional chef. So if you want to change the recipe to your liking, be my guest. If you don't like the way I cooked something, you don't have to.
So I guess that's all, and if you want to see more, go ahead and pop on over to my channel. I do a lot of decluttering, cleaning, odds and end things, you know. I just opened up memberships, so if you want early access to any of my videos before they are published for everyone to see, go ahead and join the membership, the VIP. It's only $2.99 a month, and it does go to support my channel and my family. So I guess that's it for tonight. I'll see you next time. Bye.